So they go into tank mode, right? Which was confusing to me because they could have made the playoffs. And what was really going on is they have a lottery pick tied to the Porzingis trade. So when they traded Dennis Smith Jr. and a first round top 10 protected draft pick to the Knicks for Porzingis, and that pick was for this season, for this year. If they made the playoffs and they're going to lessen their chance and lessen their odds to land a top 10 lottery pick in that case, right? So the opportunity, all right, so there was a greater chance if they made the playoffs that they wouldn't have got a top 10 pick, which means if it's outside the top 10, if it was number 11, then New York gets the pick. They would have lost their first round pick for this summer. So in an attempt to try to keep that pick and greater their chances to get that pick in the top 10, they tank and they pulled Luka and Kyrie out of the game for against the Bulls, and they lost by 3 points, and then they got one more game against San Antonio, and I'm quite sure that they won't play, but it don't matter anyway because they're out of the playoffs, right? So they graded their chances of getting in their top 10 pick, right? And I don't know if the lottery talent is that great that it even matters if they get that pick. And I don't even know if you grab a rookie, if he's going to be able to come in and help Luka and Kyrie win right now, right? So maybe they want to use that number one pick to help package another player to bring in another vet. That's what I would do. I don't know if I would want a rookie. You already got a 23-year-old almost superstar and Luka, and you have a superstar in Kyrie. Work with that. Get another vet to bring him in, another all-star level type player, and then you off and running if you can change that offense and take Luka off the point guard and get a real point guard, right? So it's a couple of things Dallas can do. And this is what I would do. Number one, right away, Luka is not the point guard anymore. I'm not going to let my go-to scorer, my number one primary scorer, I'm not going to let him run the point. But I don't want Kyrie exclusively to run the point either, because he's such a great scorer, right? But I don't want to bring in a point guard smaller than Kyrie, and then we have the issue of Luka not being a great wing defender at the small forward, so he's going to be dog food every night. Kyrie Irving, being a small point guard, can guard other point guards his size very well, but the issue with him and guys like Steph Curry is they screen so much, and they screen to get a mismatch where you ended up having Kyrie Irving or somebody like Steph trying to guard a Jason Tatum or a Jaylen Brown, right? Once they get screened off, and that spells trouble, right? So you don't want another point guard that's Kyrie size or smaller, because now you're going to have 3 non-defenders on the wing, and that's just going to be disastrous for them, right? So what I would do, number one, take Luka off the point, and I would bring in another point guard, but I will make sure that point guard is a big body, agile, and good defender or great defender, right? And not necessarily a scorer, because I'm going to be getting my points from Luka and Kyrie, right? I want this point guard to be able to score, but more importantly, I want him to be able to defend and hit open threes, right? So you have to think about what point guard that might be. And I want him to be, he don't have to be young. He could be a vet, but not necessarily be a vet. Like, I just seen Utah beat Denver, which we'll talk about in a minute. And they just signed what's up, SB? They just signed Chris Dunn. And Chris Dunn had 14 assists a game tonight. He had 19 points, 14 assists, 8 rebounds. He's a 6'4", 6'5" point guard. I always liked him. He got drafted by Minnesota. Dude can defend. Dude can get in the paint and score. and now he's hitting the open jump shot with consistency. If Utah keeps him, that's great, but maybe he might be the type of guy that might fit well. You know, he's not small. He's a big point guard. He can run the point, and he don't need shots all the time, right? Maybe Lonnie Walker from LA if they drop him. A point guard like that. That's what I'm thinking, right? So if he could run the point, and then every now and then Kyrie can run it as well when he goes to the bench. That's what I would be looking for. But I don't want Luka on the point no more. I'm telling Luka from now on, I want you to concentrate on giving your man 30 every night, right? Which shouldn't be hard because he's already doing that. But now I want you to go in the offseason and figure out how you're going to get this 30 points without having the ball, right? So I want you to watch other non-athletic, highly skilled small forwards that is about your size, 6'7", 6'8". You know, I want you to watch Paul Pierce play without the ball, because he played with Rajon Rondo being a point guard that's going to have the ball, and he was setting people up. But Paul Pierce, every now and then when it's time to go one-on-one, especially when Rondo went to the bench, they'll let Paul Pierce bring the ball up or initiate the offense, right? You know, so you gotta be able to master the game to where you're picking your spots to do X, Y, Z. You just can't come down and say, look, I'm going to do what I want to do every play, and the other four guys, y'all just got to figure out how to exist around me, right? That's not a good formula. Luka's going to learn how to play off the ball. That means you're going to get the ball a lot in the post, right? And you're going to run off some screens every now and then. And you got to be able to knock down, catch and shoot threes. If someone like Kyrie gets double, you're going to have to learn how to play off people like they learn how to play off you, right? So that's the number. That's the first thing I'm doing. Take Luka off the ball, get a big body point guard that can play defense, and you know, I would like that. Kyrie, a point guard like Chris Dunn, and Luka. Those are my wings. That way, if you're doing that and you don't have Luka running the point, running that offense where you have 5-man out, standing at the 3-point line, now you can have a rim protector help him out on defense. The difference between Luka Doncic and someone like Steph Curry, who they always consider not a good defender, is that Steph Curry doesn't need to play in an offense where a big man has to stand at the 3-point line. So you can play Andrew Bogut or Kevon Looney or Jonathan Wiseman or even Boogie Cousins, like it's all types of centers who've played with Steph that can be in the paint and they can help rebound and do all that stuff. But with Luka, JaVale McGee couldn't even get on the floor because in Luka's offense, you can't have a big man out there that can't spread the floor and shoot the three. So that canceled JaVale McGee out. If you notice, when Kyrie showed up and Luka was hurt, JaVale McGee started getting minutes, and he started getting meaningful minutes, and he started playing real good basketball with Kyrie. You just can't do that with Luka because he needs 5-man on the perimeter, right? So you get rid of that whole need for that if you take him off the ball and make him play his true position, which is small forward. Just because he has point guard skills doesn't mean he has to be your point guard. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. I would try to keep JaVale McGee. I need that rim protector, and I try to keep Woods. I just add a piece. I add a point guard, and I add some more defenders, like Dodo or whoever else they had before. You know, so that's what they do with that. You definitely can't blame Kyrie for what happened with Dallas for sure. But that's just my take on what they need to do moving forward.